I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. REN. Hi, REN. This is probably the most requested artist and song I've ever received in the whole history of my channel since I created it over 2 years ago. I sort of want to just get straight into it, but first I'll just give a brief summary of where I'm at with REN. I'd never heard of him before. I have never seen him. I have never heard him. I am told he is Welsh. He is a singer and a rapper and is well worth checking out. So here we are. I have been told through many comments that this is a song about his personal struggles, both mentally and physically, struggles with various ailments and illnesses. He was misdiagnosed with Lyme disease. As usual, I looked up the lyrics of the song beforehand, but there are a lot of them. So I stopped reading halfway through. Let's save them for the song itself. Does he need a wheelchair? That pig mark.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you?
Oh, right. I had no idea what to expect. In the many comments I received recommending REN, all I had heard was what this song's about, that he plays guitar, and some people said he plays classical guitar, and that there is some swearing, some cussing in this song. That's about it. That's where my expectations were coming into it. One common theme amongst all the comments was that REN is very unique and the song is one of a kind, you know, saying that kind of thing. How far are we? 1:23 where I've paused. He's looking a little manic right here. There's already so many interesting things we've heard. Wow. Okay, a few things about the music before we carry on with the song. Like I said, he's looking a little bit unhinged here, a bit manic.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Because I always
come back. Did you think you'd buried me? This is what, his inner dark voice or an illness, perhaps. If what I've been told in the comments is true about REN's misdiagnoses and then the subsequent health complications that come with it, I completely understand the unhingedness, the madness. I have personally been misdiagnosed by medical professionals a few times. People very close to me have been with some really quite severe things. It can really mess up your life. No shade to medical professionals, of course. They're doing a fantastic job, but these things do happen, unfortunately. Mistakes happen in every facet of life. So if you're going to make a song about it, then yeah, being unhinged is maybe a good way to go about it. Get the message across. Also, the set that we're seeing here, it's like a stereotypically rundown, almost mental asylum in a way, isn't it? The stuff of nightmares, dystopian. The guy with the pig masks that came in at the beginning, like something out of a horror film. Let's go back to the opening. He comes in the wheelchair. I was starting to ask a question when the music started. That pig mask, is he in a wheelchair in real life? Has he been badly affected? This is the opening, the first bit of REN of the song, but the first bit of REN I am ever hearing. My first experience of REN. Firstly, I'll start with his vocal entry, actually. I mean, that's not what I expected. I mean, who would expect that? Who would expect that to be a vocal entry? It's deceptively high. That's a D up there. Not low for a man, that's for sure. It's a D because our key is D. D minor, which happens to be my favorite key, so that's a plus. This also means his guitar is tuned down because the lowest string on a guitar is usually an E, but to be a D, which he keeps repeating on the lowest string, It's tuned down a little bit. That's not the biggest thing. People tune down guitars a lot, but naturally it means that the guitar now has a slightly bigger range, so we have slightly more potential options with what you can do with the guitar. The style of the opening, it's just him and the guitar. It's definitely worth mentioning. Straight in on that bottom D, it's almost kind of like a neo-classical style, so classical but with a modern twist. Getting some rhythmic manipulation in there. What he just did there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, when it's usually 1, 2, 1, 2. Suddenly thinking in terms of threes, that's called a hemiola, so it's just a way to get some difference. We get some chromaticisms. He did a little major inflection where he temporarily changed to the major, which is a bit happier sounding than the minor equivalent. It really reminds me of a video I found when I was younger. I downloaded the audio file from YouTube, put it onto my MP3 player or iPod, listened to it all the time. I'll find a clip.
A few moments later.
I've just found some bad news. This is on my songs of the week list. That's over on my Patreon. I put in songs I've been listening to at that moment in time. I went to click on the video and it's been removed from YouTube. That's really upsetting. Let me try and find another clip of that person. Okay, I found one after a bit of looking. It's not the same song, but it's similar in style. Yeah, some almost flamenco elements. Otherwise, it's quite Bachian in style, although it immediately kind of breaks one of Bach's golden rules about parallel octaves.
Nerd alert!
So yeah, really cool opening, just completely unexpected. The high vocal entry, this neoclassical guitar style that's not old, it's not new. Let's carry on with the song, because otherwise my video will end up being hours long.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately. And I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one. So you see, you gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere. Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the...
Jeez Louise. Wow. I feel like there will be a lot of kind of hard-hitting moments or lines in this song. I simply can't go over everything that's happening, line by line. Musically, lyrically, emotionally, rhetorically. But here, right here, talking about not selling out to the industry. That's what he's doing essentially, right? And that's a very commendable and honorable stance to take in such a competitive space. One thing I really like about it, obviously this is very clearly the duality. We could write an English essay on this, but it's what he does in the music as well to emphasize the duality of Ren, and then the dark, the cynical Ren. Let's just go back a little bit to Ren.
Gone fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate, this time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place, and my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great.
The guitar, super simple, moving in 2-part parallel motion, offbeat emphasis, cha. Let me just show you on the keyboard. So the offbeat rhythms, but I'll just play the chords simultaneously. So we get 4 chords there, and I'll bring them closer together. Notice how many are minor and how many are major. Minor will always sound a little bit sadder than the major. So Only the first one is minor, slightly sadder sounding. And I think it's lovely how he actually starts the first one down there, and then the bass part rises. And then they move in this lovely parallel motion. Whereas the other Ren, the cynical Ren...
You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah?
The guitar here sounds the same structurally, sounds very similar harmonically, but he's using his hand now to provide a beat, which is like a slapping sound against the metallic strings, a bit of a percussive element, and of course we're getting full strummed chords, or plucked, but you get my point. Overall, it's much more chaotic sounding. A fuller sound, less restricted, and I think we can all agree it seems like it's less controlled, a sign of less control here, possibly mentally. And quickly just touching on the harmony here of the dark Ren versus the real Ren. Before, in the real Ren, I said count how many chords are minor versus major. Well, we had minor 1, but then major, 3 major happy sounding chords to 1 sad. Now, in the darker Ren, all we're hearing is this. Minor, minor, minor. He's just going back and forth between 2 minor chords. There's not 1 major chord in there.
You're on fucking dumb boy. Nah, mate. This time is different, man. Trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place.
Having this lovely melodic 2-part line in the guitar, major dominated. It's a sign of control, of restraint, of composure. It's very subtle lyric painting. Look what he's singing about. I feel like things might be falling in place. By lyric painting, I mean when the music is directly representing the words. Like if you're singing about rain falling and then the music falls, that kind of thing. Really, really nice touch. Well, right now, I just have loads of questions. What's going to happen? Is there going to be anything or anyone else coming in? Other instrumentation, drums maybe? Will it remain just him? How will the structure of the song change? Are we just going to have loads of verses, similar structure, harmony? More questions than answers right now, so let's carry on with it. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now.
Statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist, the pinnacle.
Wow, these lyrics, so poignant. I'm just doing a very quick pause. We'll carry on in just a second because of that line here.
And did it. Played on guitar, Plan B did it.
Eminem did it, played on guitar, Plan B did it. I imagine everyone knows Eminem. I imagine not everyone knows Plan B. This reference he's making, I think, is about playing guitar and rapping simultaneously. So let me show you a clip of the Plan B song I think they're referencing. I can only show a few seconds because of copyright.
When I see this shit and I say exactly what I think. Nasty shit and still you don't bank it.
You might not know Plan B by name, but he does have a very famous song. Again, I'll show a few seconds and you might recognize this one.
I love you, boy, I love you so. She said,
again, I can only play a few seconds because of copyright. Okay, let's carry on. By the way, if you're still watching and you haven't yet clicked off, then thank you. After this reaction, I will be watching or reacting to, I suppose, another Ren video. That one is called Hi Ren, Behind the Scenes with Ren. Difficult to talk about.
I don't speak about it publicly very much.
For length reasons, I won't be including that on this and posting it on YouTube, but if you want to watch that with me, then you can find it linked below in the pinned comment.
On guitar, Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore. Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us. That's right, speak your truth, your fucking God complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it.
Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus.
Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside. Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mephistopheles, truth in a blender, deceitful pretender, the banished avenger, the righteous surrender when standing in front of my solar eclipse. My name is stitched to your lips, so you see, I won't bow to the will of a mortal. Feeble and normal, you wanna kill me? I'm eternal immortal. I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of end. I am you, you are me, I am you, Ren.
Blimey. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I am just thinking, to be honest, right now about when I edit this video, what on earth my face was doing in that. That is an example of powerful music. It's difficult to describe how it kind of affects you, but for me, that was getting a little bit uncomfortable towards the end of that section. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm sure that's exactly what the music is designed to do. I'm 100% of it. So I would call that extremely successful and emotive music. But I mean, the point remains that that was making me feel a little bit uncomfortable almost. That's what music has the power to do. One huge element of what we just listened to, let me just show a little bit.
Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the...
Chromaticism. If you've seen my videos before, you will be very, very familiar with this term. I always mentioned chromaticism when it's used in a song I am reacting to. Why? Well, I think it's one of the most effective and powerful tools or devices used in music. Why do we have music in the first place? To convey emotion, to express what words cannot express, or to enhance words. A story or a poem without music is just a story or a poem, but a story or a poem with music becomes a song. So musical devices or tools or techniques, whatever you want to call them, intrinsically have this like emotive power within them, and it's then down to the artist to deploy them how they want in an effective way. So chromaticism, what is it? Well, simply put, you can think of it as just moving to consecutive notes. It can be difficult to implement in music because normally how harmony works is you can move through chords not chromatically and it will sound good. Like that, for example, you know. And you can keep moving. As far as chromaticism goes, what REN does is one of the most effective uses I've ever seen or heard.
The righteous surrender when standing in front of my solar eclipse. My name is stitched to your lips, so you see.
Do I like how this sounds objectively? No, of course not. That's not meant to be nice to listen to. It's supposed to hit us hard to shock us, right? The music here is just highlighting, I think anyway, that the anguish, the inner turmoil, everything that's going on inside of him. It's mental in every sense of the word. That's how it's designed. That's how he's designed it. But by contrast, and I want to show you an example here of one of the other most effective cases of chromaticism I've ever heard. So let me take you back over 300 years to the early 1700s. And it's one of the most beautiful sections of music I've ever heard. Here we see chromaticism, the same musical device REN is using, but look how different the outputs are. Music's a beautifully versatile thing, available to absolutely everyone to be used how they choose to use it. Extremely creative what we're listening to here with REN. Completely, yeah, I don't know, emotional roller coaster. I don't know what I expected. Almost overwhelming in ways. Let's carry on.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted, I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal, and you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope, some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So coward the man I've become, when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire that me to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise, in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, we're a climate different side.
So discordant. Is he about to play another probably quite overwhelming bit in terms of the harmony? Wow. I mean, thinking about it, we haven't actually heard proper melodic singing in his chest voice yet. We started off with his head voice, but then suddenly out of nowhere.
Your shade. So coward the man I've become, when I sing from the top of my lungs.
It's one of those voices, the way he sings, the timbre, the texture, how he uses it, I would typically associate with contemporary music. I can think of several other examples, rather than like a singer from the 40s or 50s. It suits it so well, and I've only listened to him properly singing for 10 seconds. I really like his voice. The lyrics, so poignant. I'm really so engaged with them. Unbelievable storytelling. My question earlier about is he in a wheelchair has been answered. He is stood up.
Ocean floor, and I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope.
When I was talking about the duality and then how lovely that 2-part harmonic motion guitar part was earlier, I was thinking of saying it's hopeful. It sounds like a hopeful bit of music. I didn't in the end. Okay, let's carry on. There's about 3 minutes left, and it sounds like we're about to get a mental bit. I need to mentally prepare a little bit. Okay.
We're a climate different side.
I'm wondering, so if you see my mouse coming on the screen, there's 2 minutes left.
When I was 17 years old, I shouted out into an empty room, into a blank canvas, that I would defeat the forces of evil. And for the next 10 years of my life, I suffered the consequences, with autoimmunity, illness, and psychosis. As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare, but there were victims.
Sorry, a quick pause again. I don't know about copyright. Psychosis. That is one of the scariest things, in my opinion. Any sort of mental fragmentation or blurring of what's real and what isn't, to me, is one of the scariest things. So I can only imagine what this chap has been through. It looks like he's going to be talking for the rest of it. This is so interesting because this is such a popular song. Like I said at the start of my video, this is maybe my most requested song ever. It's got 63 million views in 2 years. And the format of this, the length of it, it's nearly a 10-minute song. And it looks like he's speaking. He's giving a monologue for 2 minutes of it. That is so not what you'd expect from music created today, in today's world where everything seems to favor short term. Like short-term TikToks and YouTube shorts and all of that kind of stuff. Songs on the radio, how often are they over 3 minutes? So I'm very happy to see the success of this because he's sticking true to his word, what he said earlier. He's going kind of against the grain. And if we are going to have talking, I'm not going to go back over it, but I just want to quickly say how much I enjoyed the last little vocalization. The guitar being played hectically, some slight tuning discrepancies with the changes rapidly between the chords. Everything just completely complements and adds to the effect. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Nice harmonic chord progression as well. But let's carry on with the talking.
As I got older, I realized there were no real winners and there were no real losers in psychological warfare. But there were victims and there were students. It wasn't David versus Goliath. It was a pendulum, eternally swaying from the dark to the light. And the more intensely that the light shone, the darker the shadow it cast. It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.
Wow. Well, there we go. Poetic. A skilled lyricist. Really poetic. I really liked the reference of an eternal dance between light and dark. A dance, it kind of weirdly adds a fun element to something that ultimately is not fun at all. So I guess subconsciously or extremely subtly, it's almost putting a positive spin on it. Look, I'm going to leave that there. I'm sure this video is long enough. That was fascinating, really. I'm going to need to listen to this again because I'm sure I would have missed quite a few things. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to now watch REN behind the scenes with REN. So once again, if you want to watch that with me, head on over to the link in the pinned comment. It will be interesting to learn a bit more about him or the creative process. I have no idea what that will be about. If you made it this far, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know you enjoyed by leaving a like on the video, comment down below other recommendations for songs by REN or anything interesting about him that you want me to know. Comments really do help. If you don't want to write any words, then let's go with an emoji. I think today's emoji, let's go with a brain, just because of how clever this song is. Just like you see on the screen now, a bit of a weird one, but hopefully see some brains in the comments. Yeah, still a bit speechless, but thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.